soon.
Good evening. Tonight we mark the remarkable life of Queen Elizabeth II and her bond with so many of us in the East Midlands. Well, the Queen's last visit to the region was in 2017 when she visited farmers on the Duchy of Lancaster's estate near Burton-on-Trent. A month earlier, she had been in Leicester to hand out Maundy money to members of the community. Well, today, Derby was just one of our areas where people lined up to pay their respects. It was a city created by the Queen in her Silver Jubilee year, and she revisited it when she opened Pride Park. People of all ages there have been sharing their memories, as Phil Brewster reports.
Midday and the bells ring out at Derby Cathedral to mark the Queen's passing. Inside, just 2 minutes earlier, a 2-minute silence, a chance for reflection. In 2010, the Queen came here to hand out Maundy money to local residents. Today, candles were lit in her memory.
It was an extraordinary day. The cathedral was packed, and there was such delight in the city and in the cathedral and in the region at the Queen's visit, and that delight lives on.
Also here today, pupils from St Joseph's Catholic Primary School, who shared their thoughts on the Queen.
I liked how she was very kind and she liked to help.
She showed everyone that we should love one another.
She's kind, she's loyal, she's just an amazing person. It's like a personal thing to the royal family because they've lost like their queen, they've lost their majesty, they've lost their leader, and I feel like most people, they won't feel like the same after this.
Over at the Council House, a book of condolence. Among the first to sign, the Mayor, who was present when the Queen conferred city status on Derby during a visit back in 1977.
She walked slowly over with the Duke of Edinburgh, stopping to chat to people all over the place. And she never lost her smile from her face. And I think she won the hearts of the people of Derby that day.
During her reign, the Queen made several visits to Derby, including 1997, when she officially opened Pride Park Stadium, returning 5 years later for her Golden Jubilee.
We had an assembly to talk about the Queen's life.
Just outside the city centre is Derby's Royal School for the Deaf. In 1997, the Queen came here to learn about their work. 25 years on, and for staff who were there at the time, and pupils who weren't, a mixture of sadness, but also joy at the memory of her visit.
Shock. Like, I never know she actually died. I thought she will get a bit better.
And the Queen was up on the stage, and I was just shocked. And all the students were all lined up signing the national anthem. And I think I could tell that the Queen was a bit choked by it, you know. She tried to keep a stern face, but she really appreciated the different language and a different experience for her. And I'll just never forget that.
It's okay not to understand how to feel today, because I'm an adult and I don't actually know how to feel today. So as young people, just understand that this very, very significant events happened, and let's just be there and support each other as a community.
For the people of Derby, today was hard. So much joy at her visits, but also sadness that there won't be any more.
Phil Brewster reporting from Derby. Well, the Queen chose Leicester as the first stop on her Diamond Jubilee tour in 2012. Hindu and Chinese dancers, a Zimbabwean choir and the Kibworth Brass Band were all part of that 4-hour visit. 10 years earlier, she had made history in the city as the first serving monarch to visit a British Sikh place of worship, removing her shoes at the Guru Nanak Gurdwara in the city in accordance with tradition.
Everybody, whether they are Commonwealth citizens or British citizen, but if they are not, even then those people have got some impact in their mind of respect and admiration. I think the Queen was down to earth. She made everybody to welcome, and she made impact on everybody's mind.
And for the younger generation, this year has been an opportunity to learn about the Queen, especially during the Platinum Jubilee celebrations. which marked her 70th year on the throne. Our education correspondent Peter Bean has been to a primary school in Nottingham to see how pupils felt today.
No older than the Queen's great-grandchildren, today children at Sneinton St Stephen's Church of England Primary School in Nottingham expressed what she meant to them.
She was a huge dog fan. Her favourite dogs were corgis. She had 31 of them.
The Queen had already ruled for 60 years when most of these children were born, but she'd still made a huge impression on these Year 5s.
It's difficult enough for many adults, let alone children, to come to terms with what's happened in the last 24 hours. But here at Sneinton COV Primary, they've been keen to celebrate the Queen's life, as it's only a matter of months since they were having special activities and lessons to mark her Platinum Jubilee.
I was feeling a bit shocked and heartbroken because she's been here for a really long time.
The Queen showed us how to be a good person and to help. I hope we never forget the great reign of the Queen.
We've been thinking about how Queen Elizabeth was a very inspirational woman and queen, and how she led us through hard times, and she even helped during World War II.
In Nottingham today, there were signs that the world had changed overnight. As the bell tolled in St Mary's Church, people made their way to the Council House to lay flowers and sign a book of condolence. Many will have fond memories of the Queen's visits to Nottingham, like this one in 2012. The man who represented her in the county of Nottinghamshire recalls her wicked sense of humour.
When things go wrong, the first thing she did was smile and make a joke about it, like getting your sword stuck in the car when you're trying to get out, all sorts of things like that. And of course she married a man, the Duke of Edinburgh, who also had a sense of humour. So there are occasions where I get them both together and I'm feeling embarrassed. They're having a great time.
A life of service celebrated today by those of all ages. Peter Bean, ITV News, Nottingham.
Well, earlier today, King Charles III conducted his first official day as monarch and greeted well-wishers outside Buckingham Palace. Crowds of people came to offer their condolences after the Queen's passing, including two from Swadlincote and Burton.
I guess for people like us, we don't really appreciate the monarchy as much as the older generations, right? But I mean, she was such an influential figure throughout entire reign. So it's really nice to just see all the people out as well.
I think it's tradition more than anything. Growing up, throughout most of the last few generations' lifetime, she's been the only monarchy. No one we know really has seen anyone else. So it's a massive shock to the system, really, isn't it?
Well, in the House of Commons, MPs shared their memories of the monarch. They stood for a minute's silence before paying tribute, including one from the Derby South MP, Margaret Beckett.
People will probably recall it's often been on the news. It's one of my favourite clips of, I think, the Duke of Edinburgh was being chased by a persistent bee, and there's a picture of the Queen coming through an archway, giggling uncontrollably and clearly quite unable to suppress how hysterically funny she found it. And I think that very much sums up the person that you could see and admire. She was a remarkable person, a remarkable monarch, and we are the poorer for her going.
Emotions running high for so many people. We'll continue to bring more tributes for the Queen from across the East Midlands in our programmes and online. Time now, though, for the weather forecast. Here's Helen Plint.
Hello again. Well, for now, that very unsettled weather through much of the week are finally starting to ease. So the weekend looking much drier and brighter out there. Still a couple of showers managing to get through on Saturday, mind you, but then rising temperatures through Sunday and into the early stages of next week. Of course, we've had this low pressure system, which has really dominated over the last few days. Very slow to push off towards the east, but it finally does so, allowing that high pressure to build over the next couple of days. But it will be pretty short-lived. Notice frontal systems out in the Atlantic waiting to push in through the early stages of next week, bringing further rain our way. In the short term, well, any showers from this evening tending to fizzle away into the early hours of the morning. So clumpy clouds for some, but actually a lot of clearance as well. Maybe the odd pocket of mist, but generally enough of a breeze to keep our temperatures hovering around that mid-teen mark. So by no means chilly first thing on Saturday morning, and actually a lot of dry and fine weather to start the weekend. You'll tend to notice on that northerly breeze the showers will crop up and drift through, but nothing like as widespread or hefty as they have been over the last few days. So certainly more noticeable that dry and bright weather with highs of 21 degrees. Now from here on in for the second half of the weekend, highs of 22 degrees, noticeably warmer with lots of sunshine to come.
Just a reminder, there is a list of where you can go to see where well-wishers can sign books of condolence for the Queen on our website. But from all the team here, for now, good evening.